As soon as she throws up the slide with the agenda, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explain our procedures for those people who are new and for those individuals who have been around the block a few times. And this is the agenda. And throughout the year, we'll have an agenda for our meetings. And today's meeting is basically it's a meeting where there's a lot of information that I'm going to give today. And this is just for some, these are reminders. For some, this is new. So if you do have questions on this, let me know, and we'll just kind of guide you through that whole process. And for those people who are versed with this process, you just um, remind me every once in a while. I need to stay on track. um, there's always a welcoming and there's a call of order. Not so much as call of order, but I'm glad that you guys are all here. Um, I think greeting you guys this morning with just a small in Navajo, my language, and then and then I'm switch over to the English and start from number two. Yat e bin an sohan so kagi si bahansen. Dide e hansit lide do bin se kese do e artso bi o juno nane katolil. Kada e shi Title 6 programs e bahansen do. E he as an sohan so ka an so kagi. It's just a small greeting from my part and where I'm sitting today. For those people who are new, we'll start the program with a cultural reverence, and oftentimes a cultural reverence is there's a very variety of things that we do here. Uh, Sometimes we ask for a prayer, or depending on who's going to give it the cultural reverence. It might be a prayer, it might be a song, it might be a thought, a book they're reading, a project that they're working on, things that they experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be a prayer of expression, but something that you think is relevant to you. This is kind of approach for many American Indian tribes, and the Navajos are not excluded from that count in terms of how we approach our meetings and how we bring people together in terms of our thought and our spirit. And from there, we're going to go through the process of 3 through 14, and the comments is going to be more of recognition of some of the people out there that contribute to the program and what they're working on throughout the year. And what I'll do is when we get to that part, I'll get them to talk a little bit. Um, so let me start with a prayer. You know, Tianlin and Kankashla, Heavenly Father, as we gather this day on these sacred lands of the American Indian people and the tribes in Utah, we celebrate and pay tribute to the program that we embarked in, the Title 6 programs, and those individuals throughout the year, that they may be blessed, that the students may be blessed with commitment, and they're willing to learn and comprehend the information that is relevant to enhance their educational journey into their educational process of their being. Bless the instructors, the faculty and staff, to welcome these students who come from a diverse background with energy and willing to accept the challenge. May these students walk with confidence and gain the wisdom and knowledge necessary to be successful. Grant them with health and strength and fortitude to do well and be proud of who they are. May the Title VI personnel also and their support staff be blessed with the skills to organize and the thought out processes with their individual Title VI programs at their sites, and that the Spirit will guide and protect and lead them and to prompt them. We thank thee for the families. We thank thee for the school system in which we are accustomed to. We thank thee for the communities and the support that they give us. We thank thee for the Utah State Board of Education and the things that they say and do for us. And most of all, with the parents and their support. And as we embark on this journey, this day, in this academic year, that we be mindful of your spirit, that we gravitate that for refuge, we gravitate that for the help that we need, the assistance, and that the friendship that we have with one another. We pray this day for those blessings and those blessings that we may be in need of this day and throughout the year, and for our children and our students in our programs that we work with. And there are many, many words here that we ask in these favors, and we pray humbly in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, thank you guys for listening to me. And this is the program that we're going to go through today. And and again, for those people who are new, this is we always start with a cultural reverence, and I was inspired to do that reverence this morning. So I have a lot of energy this morning, I guess. um, Madeline, could you bring up number 3, the Title VI calendar? And this is the calendar that we're going to have throughout the whole year. And all our meetings are going to be virtual. We have the dates on the left-hand side and the time from 9 to 11 o'clock. And this is a location, it's a virtual meeting, and we're going to try to get everybody to get the information out to them virtually with an agenda early on, like we did in the years past. I know that there's going to be some conflicts here with especially the second semester. We I try to dodge all the like the spring break sessions. I know that there are a couple of school districts. They're going to have a conflict here, and that just let me know if that conflict will affect. And our effort today also is to record, and as we record this session, that they can go back and to review that. Now the presentations are the meetings are, we're going to provide professional development again during these meetings, and we're going to have presenters. And there's a third part to that, is that we have a sharing time with everybody to share. So this kind of gives you an idea of the direction that we're going with the program in a general sense. So let's go to the next slide. It's the contact information. That's with all the sites. Yeah, that one there. And this is our Title VI program formula sites. We have a few new people. I'd like for them to introduce themselves if they're are online. We have a new Title VI program that was established in the Box Elder School District. Megan, is Megan on, or anybody from Box Elder? That's number 2 up there. Oh, what happened? Okay. I guess she's not on. But they submitted their application to the Office of Indian Education to be part of the Title VI programs in Utah. And they were confirmed, and they are part of our group now, and that's our contact person. It's Megan Bushnell from Elder School District, and I think we've already gone through the other school districts, and we have Uinta, number 19. Melissa has left the program, and they replace that individual with Jaime Leba. He also serves in other capacities. So he wears a few hats in the Uinta School District, and I think we welcome him also. And number 18, Tooele. I know that Stephanie's not here, but is there a representative from Tooele School District? I know that they have a new Title VI coordinator too. Guess not. But they do have a new Title VI coordinator, and again, Stephanie is she wears a few hats, um, and this is Title VI is just one of them. So I put her name down in there to make sure that we cover those bases, and the rest of the individuals there. Now, just kind of take note also everything that's in red and those asterisk marks. Uh, at the end of each year, we'll have the tribal consultation with the local tribe. And I think our effort here is to abide by the ESSA law in section 8538 that indicates that we strongly have a tribal consultation for all those school districts who receive more than $40,000 per year, or have more than 50% of their student population are American Indian or Alaska Native students. So throughout the year, at the end of the year, mainly around April or March and April, we'll uh, arrange a session with our local tribe for those people who like to join that whole group. And it's been quite successful. Uh, we have a tribal consultation with the Goshute tribe because their students are scattered throughout the Wasatch Front, and they're probably the closest Indian tribe closer to our sites. So we'll go through that process, and throughout the year, if you'd like to be part of that group, I just let me know, and we'll go from there. But I'll let you know how that whole process goes. And of course, we have to have documentation on that, and I'll send that documentation out again. And we're going to kind of review that today too. So we'll go from that process there. Let's see. There's the screen. Okay, Madeline, you want to go to the mission and vision statement? Each year we follow a vision, we follow a statement that's brought to you by the Office of Indian Education, which is the top two in bold letters. The Title VI program, the mission of the Office of Indian Education is to support the efforts of local educational agencies, Indian tribes and organizations, post-secondary institutions, and other entities to meet the unique educational and cultural related academic needs of the American Indian Alaska Natives so that the students can achieve to the same challenging state standards as all the other students. And this is one of their statements from the Office of Indian Education. Of course, they have two purposes here. It's based on the academic needs of our children, and the other one is to engage, to design our programs to meet those educational needs. It could be through languages and their culture, and it could be involvement for the parents from the community. It could be with another Indian tribe. So that's kind of set. And the last two, mission and vision statements, is developed by our Title VI coordinators. This was back in 2010, and we revised that in 2017. I think sometime between now and at the end of the year, we'll probably have to visit these statements again, and whether we're going to change anything. I think it's always good to have some refreshing thoughts on that, and some of the vocabulary and some of the thoughts that we can put into our vision and the mission statement. So that's going to be coming down the pike. Okay. Madeleine, do you want to go to the STPD funding and the plan that we have here? Okay. And this is the funding that everybody receives from my office, and this is basically this is state funding. You know, you guys, all the sites, they have two types of funding coming into your school district. One is federal funding, which is coming from the Office of Indian Education through the formula grant, ESA grant opportunities. And the other one is the, what is called the STPD funding. And the funding has been approved, and it's going through the process in terms of getting that funding in its right place. So within the next, you know, maybe the next couple of weeks, you should be receiving some type of funding to uh, confirm that you accept the funding. I think right now is probably the best time to start thinking about what kind of programs you're going to use with the type of funding. And I anticipate also that the amount is probably going to be the same. Um, I think there's going to be funding for all our activities, and we like to engage in that, and um, and stay very mindful of how that funding is being used, because surely we don't want to overstep that funding and use it in an inappropriate way, and uh, then the funding has, or the statement for reimbursement is going to be sent back to your school district to clarify. But this is the statement that we use. And the plan and the purpose of the Title VI STP funding is to support and sustain the various professional learning activities for our faculty, staff, students, parents, and tribal leaders. This, this includes professional learning costs for materials, books, supplies, conference associated with the event. Also includes the cost for travel, lodging, meals for consultants, stipends for presenters, keynote speakers. The funding include leadership training, general workshops, conferences, attend local and national Indian Education Association conference, engage in activities to help native language development, native culture and activities, academic areas that include college and career prepared social activities, parent participation and engagement. That's a very, very, this statement here is very, very general, and the native tribal partnership in any events that will enhance the students' progress and learning. So basically, that's a description of the STPD funding. Um, and some, they like clarification, and they'll ask if there's a possibility that this could be used for these areas, and there, I'm not caught off guard, and usually it's in a positive sense. And there's things that we cannot use the STPD funding for, like food, beverages, and snacks, incentives for families and students and community, like gift cards and treats, amusement parks, and also this funding cannot be used for hiring additional staff. This money or this funding could be used for those individuals who are employed presently, and oftentimes I see this through the summer. you have a summer program and they need to cover the cost. They were hired with the school district and they're just carrying out their duties through the summertime. So, and the deadline is June the 30th, 2026. So um, that's the funding statement. Let's go to the next. That's the,
Hold on, Chuck. Mike's here.
okay.
Is it really 2026 or is it 2025? Is it this school year or 2 years from now?
Good catch, Mike. This is
No,
at the end of
I'd
the
love
year.
it if it was a 2 year thing, but if it's a one
eh,
year thing, that's
eh,
okay too.
Yeah. Well, this is supposed to be 2025 at the end of the year. That's my,
Okay.
that's my, maybe hitting the wrong key and so
Okay.
thanks,
Well, thanks for
Mike.
the clarification. You got it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good catch. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Let's go to the next. This is the initiatives that I support from my office and some of the things I follow through on. Um, no, that's the initiatives, Madeline, the 1 through 20. Yeah, that's the one. Now these, the funding that I receive, there has to be justification in terms of where and how that's going to be spent, or how's that going to be allocated, and how's that going to be spent. And this is part of my general sense justification. So some of the funding that goes to your school district, it falls into one of these 20 areas. We have the ESSA plan that was developed by all the Title VI coordinators a few years ago. And of course, I have to justify the demographics and student eligibility. That's where the 506 forms come in. And that's the reason why I ask for your count at the end of the year. I also ask for the amount that you're receiving. This will justify the count and the demographics of numbers. So, I thank you guys for your cooperation when I do ask for those numbers and I ask for the information that I need. And this is part of my report. And this report is submitted and that goes through the process, and that's where the allocation for the STPD funding comes back to us. Now, I think within the last year, I've only had one school district that did not report, and I'll be asking for that report to submit that as an amendment that would add a little bit more funding for our cause. So that's the demographic and then student eligibility. So your count with the 506 forms, if be cognizant that to make this your count very, very accurate, and because that count is reported to the ESA grant that you guys submit at the end of the year. Um, and my office, I ask for those numbers, and your numbers go up to the Department of Education through the Office of Indian Education, where you receive your funding. Okay. Let's see, and we do have our Title VI meetings, our monthly meetings. Um, and your number 4, your easy grant also. You when you guys submit that, and I believe that you guys do have your goals and objectives that you guys sent in. Um, and those goals and objectives, they're probably very, very general, and you guys follow that throughout the whole year. And we do have that. We have our tribal consultation through the ESSA plan, and that's in a public law in section 8538, and we'll do this consultation at the end of the year. In your coordination with other services, with the Title I, Title III, special ed, and so on. I know that we have individuals, American Indian, Alaska Native students, who receive these services from those other departments, and sometimes you become involved in that. They call you to the table and ask some of the recommendations that you could offer in terms of helping that students go through the process of learning. Um, then the number D is the annual performance report. It reflects the goals and objectives. And so this is what you guys submit also. And these are things that I get some information on. Um, Number five, we have also the professional development for our Title VI coordinators. Um, Also, my office also provides professional development for teachers in school districts and their faculty and staff, and oftentimes some administrators. Um, and number seven, I do meet with the tribes quarterly, and this is basically it's just a report that I do to the local tribes or to the tribal leaders meetings. And I feel that this gives me an opportunity to meet some of the tribes when I do meet with them with tribal consultation, it's much easier. It's much smoother, and we're on a at times that we're on a first name basis, and I think that's where the best place to be, because oftentimes we do ask for professional help from the local tribes, and if they know who you are, in my case, they know who I am. It makes my job a lot more easier conversing with the tribes. Um, Number eight, we do have an MOU that is set up with the Department of Education with the Navajo tribe. This is a data sharing agreement that we have, and we also have the language and the cultural endorsement, which is that really helps with the process. And I think I do have a slide on that also, so I'll bring that up in another two slides later. We also have number nine, which is Clayton. He's going to give a report on his novel language and novel government classes being offered. That will be given by Clayton a little bit later in the program. And we do have the the Ute language classes offerings in the Uinta School District, as well as the Goshen language class offering in the Tooele School District. And I don't know if Stephanie is on, if she came back from her meeting or not. If not, we'll go on. But the Goshen language, it was started a couple of years ago, who was instructed by a former teacher and administrator, and he's well versed in his language, um, and he offers that Goshen language to to their students. And this program is beginning to grow. It's beginning to get some traction. Um, they're putting materials, supplies together, and and I saw a couple books that were being put together in the Goshuk language. So it's a good thing that this is going on, and I really appreciate what Tooele School District is doing with the Goshute language and its development. Number 12, we do have a leadership conference that is co-sponsored by the Salt Lake Community College, and usually this is toward the end of the year, and it's offered to an incentive for educational opportunity in workshops for some of the local school districts, and last year, we had a good crowd, so it's something that we worked out with Salt Lake Community College, and they're supportive. I think their effort there also is to have Salt Lake Community College recruit some of the native students, because the native students now is beginning to grow again. And I think this is one way that they entice some of the students to attend their school. And all you guys have this scholarship night, student recognition. Um, you guys meet with the parents. Oftentimes that this is at the beginning of the year to offer some knowledge in terms of their plans to receive scholarships and where they're planning to go. And I've attended a couple of these in the past few years, and the the sessions that I've attended uh, were offering for students to attend and their parents to attend, and just kind of gives some knowledge in terms of scholarship opportunities and some of the resumes that need to be filled out, the applications that need to be filled out. See, I think this is an opportunity for your office to become a little bit more involved in that. And if you have not, this is a good time to start. Um, we also that Nebo School Districts, they offer a summer program, which is the Eagle Camp Summer School, and that's a month program. And on top of that, they do have professional development for their teachers and faculty and staff also. So with the NABO, they're offering for students to become a little bit more involved through their summer program, and that's I've attended a few of their sessions in the past few years, and it's a good session. And and Eileen is the lead on that, and you can probably talk to her, and she can give you some pointers in terms of if you decide to go in that direction with your summer programs. Um, Number 15, we do our the state also has a Native American Governor Summit, and that's through the Utah Division of Indian Affairs. And within the last couple of years, that area, we had a few of our from my office and a few of your Title VI. We presented a program to help with the sessions with the youth, or with the high school and middle school, junior high students. Um, Number 16, we do have Earth Connections also, which is a 1 day summer camp where we provide knowledge in the STEM, and the STEM teachers are state employees, and the other is the cultural piece. And so what we have is the STEM piece and the cultural piece. We try to merge those two programs together, where we alternate, where the students would attend one session with the cultural piece, the next session they may be with the STEM piece, and throughout the whole day. And the instructors are my effort is to find American Indian instructors, because I think there's a reflection there in terms of getting some of these students excited about their future. And they could be one of these, they may be inspired by one of these instructors to pursue their professional in the cultural sense. Using STEM as a stepping stone to find out their professions. So that's something that we provide for them. Um, and we do also have, with those Earth Connections, we do have assistance from the Natural History Museum in Salt Lake, just across the way from the Red Butte Gardens. They do a very, very good job to help us with that with their program. We also have the Tooele School District, as well as the Goshute tribe, to help us out. And this past year, the American West Center, Heritage Center in Logan, we had the um, Shoshone tribe to help us with that process too. And we had a really, really good group up there. And, hopefully that whole process will begin to grow. And I did have conversation with the Ute tribe over the summer, and the Ute tribe would like to have that type of session in their program during the summer, also a summer offering for their students. So that's kind of that's kind of information that's in the mix. Um, and I do have meetings with the West Ed Comprehensive Center. This is all the SEAs that we meet. We meet monthly, and this is a showcase what we're doing in Utah. And oftentimes I do talk about the Title VI programs and what we're doing here, and some of the things that are special, and some of the programs that we see in the future. And the number 18 is the regalia. Uh, it's the HB30. Um, I do have a slide on that too, and I think our effort here is to have this information given to the upper administration. Within since this became law, I've only had two incidences that the school district didn't get the memo. I guess they were unaware that there was an amendment for the regalia, or either that they just pleaded the fifth. Um, that really kind of disturbs me because this is a public law now, uh, and this is law across the state, and no school district is exempt from that. Um, so once you receive this information and where to find this, distribute this to the upper administration as to the regalia issue, because this sometimes it becomes news to some uh, some of the school districts, and certainly, we want to keep them abreast of what these laws are, for our students. Um, then number 19, we do have two large funding.
Chuck, Chuck,
Yes,
this is Anne
yes,
Marie.
okay.
I'll I'll just turn my camera on. I did have a problem this last year. Um, a student came on graduation day and asked if he could wear his feather, and I guess they asked multiple people, and some were like, "I think so." Some were like, "I'm not sure." Some were like, "No," and then they finally just said, "Don't wear it." And the family was really hurt. Um, so the administration did do training. They did get the letters. We sent it multiple times to the principals. At our senior dinner, we mentioned it. I sent it to the families, the House bill itself to individual senior families, I would say at least 3 times. So
Hmm.
I'm just saying that even if you do as much as you can to get it out there, it still can happen. And um, this family's really sad, and the principal's really sad because she talked to her staff about it. So I mean, if we have to, do you advise seniors to take a copy on graduation day to show people? um I don't know. It's so after meeting with the principal and the family, they've decided that anyone who's working, the school has decided anyone who's working with seniors, they
Hmm.
have our graduation, they have to sign this saying that they know about this document. And that's how they're trying to get things healed a little bit. And then the other thing that is helping in the healing process is that they are now going to have heritage and cultural classes 4 times a year next year. So it's very unfortunate, but there is some good coming out of it.
Yeah. I think that we do everything we can in terms of getting the information out. The thing that kind of also that I think, I feel that if this is a state law passed through the legislative body and unanimously accept this regalia issue or the regalia bill, it's it's something that we abide by to be citizens of Utah, citizens of the United States. And you know, I have a hard time when you're a voter in Utah and they have this bill that's law and then they tell you to sign for it. You know, it that piece there, it just kind of disturbs me. But I think we try to do everything that we can in terms of that getting that information out. And I think Anne Marie, that's a very good idea that you give these seniors a copy of that. So we won't have this incident happen again. Um, but in the past couple of years, we've only had two incidents, and both incidences, I had conversation with the administration on that. And hopefully next year that won't happen again. At least not in the same school district. So, um, so this is something that I think it's not only it's an issue here in Utah, it's an issue all across the United States with Title VI programs. Okay. Okay, number 19, we do have funding that's set aside. Now, this has gone through the legislative body to have some additional funding for the Utah School District, which is Eagleview Elementary and San Juan School District. And the last is the Utah grants, which we've gone over, and these are things that we have now. From all of this information here, this is information that it seeps through my office, and again, that this is justification for what happens with partly with some of the funding, justification for the position that I have and some of the positions that I have with the assistance that I give to all the Title VI programs in Utah. So, okay. Any questions? Let's see. I think there's some challenges there too. Could you scroll down a little bit, Madeline? Or is it on the next page? Okay, yeah. These are some of the challenges, you know, some of the virtual meetings that we have, conferences, I think that's beginning to, take hold, it's beginning traction that uh, a lot of our meetings are now virtual. Do we have technology for all our students? Do they have broadband? Do they have internet? Sometimes that's a challenge. Uh, Identifying the native speakers, from each tribe. And I think the more and more we seek, the more and more that we find. Um, Professional learning strategy to address the graduation and test scores. And I think this is a this is something that we all are engaged in. The Title VI programs, as well as all the other federal programs, as well as the school districts and their curriculum standards, and those things are set up for our students, and education resources, and to have more of Title VI formula grant applications that's being submitted. So those are some of the challenges that we have that I see. Okay. Let's go to the next. This is the one with the preservation of languages, Madeline. Yeah, that's the one. Um, this is a proclamation which is supported by the superintendent of public instruction in Utah, signed by Superintendent Dixon. This explains some of the issues that we may have with tribal languages and culture. This gives some teeth into it. They do have an exception for those individuals who don't have maybe a bachelor's degree or a degree in languages, but they're well versed in their culture. And this document also accepts that if that person is well versed in their culture and language, the the license sure is waived. Let's go to the next slide, or go to the next page there, Madeline. And this explains it here, um, where the candidate is pursuing the protocol of teaching an American Indian language course in Utah to be accompanied by the tribal's recommendation. So the tribal's recommendation is a lot stronger, but they have to be versed in that language. So an individual who may be teaching a native language in your school district, but the school district says that, well, that person needs a license, and this document will supersede that. So the license, getting a degree in that, bachelor's degree in languages or bachelor's degree, will be waived because of this. And we have this support by the administration, and this includes the eight or the nine spoken languages in Utah. So this gives us an opportunity to have some of the individuals in our areas who may be versed in their language, in their culture, and they want to have that opportunity to teach the language and culture. And the school district now would waive all the other requirements, and this is one way that we can start to build the language piece in our school district, in the cultural piece in our school district. So um, so this is another thing that is something that I think we we like to have. Any questions on that? Okay, let's go to the ESSA. Let's the ESSA plan. Yes, that one there. A few years ago, this was the time when there was a large, heavy movement with every Student Success Act was asking for a plan. And the plan from the Title VI program was put together a few years ago, and this is what we came up with. And you can probably read through that whole documentation. Um, let's scroll down. See, there's parts to this. First, there's an introduction. We get down into the tribal consultation, what that entails. You read a little bit about that in the affected local education agency, you know, and some of the things that we have there, $40,000 and so on and so forth of that in a timely manner in terms of communicating with our tribal people. And there's three things that we see fit for this whole process of this consultation is that we strengthen the tribal assurance. You can see it in the middle of the page. They're creating and strengthening educational programs. We provide funding for American Indian Alaska Native students, and we find this in the appendix. So these are some of the things that we have in terms of strengthening our relationships, and this is a plan that we have. And this was submitted to the administration here, and they accepted that. And this is part of the whole plan that was sent to DC. And the consultation has to be meaningful. So we do have a guideline that we follow, and we'll get to that in the next few slides. When we get down to the appendices, those in the red markings, those are the three large areas that we like to address when we do meet with the tribes. Um, and the other 1 through 7, the other shared data shared, all that information is it coincides what we had to put into our plan. Number B is that we creating and strengthening educational programs, and some of the information that we have there we provide bilingual bicultural programs, transition and tracking students, and those are all information that you guys all do with your program. And the last piece there is the number C. um, yeah, that one there is that we provide funding for our American Indian Alaska Native students. That's where the STPD funding comes in. And it's been a while. uh, when I first came here, we didn't have very much funding, and even today we don't have very much funding. But we do what we can in terms of um, getting that funding for you guys for your programs. I know it's not enough, but I'll keep trying and keep fighting for the programs that we have for our students. So basically, that's our plan that we have. And this plan is something that we go by, sort of like a roadmap. Um, any questions on that? Anybody?
Eileen did ask a question in the chat.
Okay. You want to,
She asked which Utah colleges offer Navajo, Ute, Goshu, Shoshone, Paiute language class.
that's a very, very good question. I think Weber State was once offering Navajo language classes, but I'm not so sure if they do today. Um, I think that the University of Utah may. I remember they used to offer that, but I'm not so sure if they have been offering that within the last 5 or 6 years. Um, that's one thing. I'll research that information. In my next reporting time, I'll give a report on that. Good question, though. Okay. Any other questions?
Chuck, the University of Utah used to offer that, and Anthony Shirley was the instructor for the Navajo course, but I think he stopped doing it. I don't know if he's even there anymore. So I can also check on that.
Yeah. I think Anthony has left the program there, but I'm not so sure who
Yeah,
who
I
who
think so
that
too.
might. Yeah. So I don't know. Um, yeah, that was a good question, though. Who's that question coming from? Was Eileen? A good question, Eileen. Okay. But we'll look
Hey,
into
Dr.
that.
Foster.
Yeah.
Dr. Foster,
Yes.
this is Eileen. I've got another comment that I wanted to share with
Okay.
the Title VI programs. Sometimes it's a good idea to keep track of all the families that live, like you may have families living with grandma and grandpa, or families uh, who are, bringing in, well, two families living together. That actually, um, some you can count that in districts. Sometimes that's counted as homeless. If your family, say that a child is an enrolled Title VI student, and their family lives with grandma and grandpa in grandma and grandpa's house. Actually, that family can be identified as homeless. Keep track of these situations, because if you keep track of these situations, you can actually show it on grants, supplementary grants that you're writing, and you you have a statistic that you know is occurring within your school district. As Native families, a lot of times we live with each other. It's a common practice for our people to do that. And so really use those statistics that, you know, can really help you to be able maybe to access Title One or
Yeah.
one of the other federal grant fundings. I also keep track of, I don't ask for names. I just ask my data people at the district, how many of my American Indian students qualify for free and reduced lunches. That, once I know that information, I don't need names. I just need, you know, like a statistic, and they have all my numbers, all the students that identify as Native. Once I have that information, this allows me to go for supplementary grants that, you know, I can go for outside of Title VI. So keep those in mind.
Yeah. That's a very, very good point, Eileen, because that free and reduced lunch opens up a lot of doors. When your students are on that free and reduced lunch, and oftentimes that you have student fees. They charge the student for getting on a bus, on an activity bus, or being involved in a school activity, and they assess that student with with funding, or there's a cost to that. But I think if you become a little bit well versed or versed in your school district in terms of how that free reduced lunch works, um, you can alleviate a lot of these issues. Because that free and reduced lunch, it actually opens up a lot of doors for these students. It's not only for American Indian people, it's for students in general. Um,
Hey, Dr. Foster. This is Matthew. How are you doing?
hey, good.
I just want to say I deal with these fee waivers a lot, and the
Yeah,
Utah fee waiver requires that you have your SNAP or food stamp case number. And if you don't have that, then they require like proof of income. It's kind of hard sometimes to get in a
yeah,
fee waiver, but our families that are receiving food assistance, that's the documentation that we need to make sure that we get those fee waivers taken care of. And if at all
yeah,
possible, it's a much smoother transition for our students to get that done before they run into the ugly fee, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good, Matthew. That's good to know. See, I didn't know that part there, but I think if you become versed on and how that whole process works, and catch these little um, loops early on, the rest of the year would go easy, especially at the end of the year. We don't want to have a large bill, sent to their families, that this was happening, but if you catch it early on, that would really help. Thanks, Matthew.
See, I got all kinds of useful information, Dr. Foster. You gotta tap the well. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, that's good, Matthew. I'm good. Any other any other comments? Yeah, the McKinney Vento. Yeah, yeah, that's a very good comment there, Natalie. So even that, you can even look into that McKinney Vento part of that for your students too. I don't know if that's for some school districts, maybe it's not offered there at some of the school district, and some school districts they do. But it's always good to look into something like that. Okay. Any other questions?
McKinney-Vento should be offered to every school district as long as the student qualifies.
Yeah. Okay, that's your assignment, Title VI, folks. McKinney-Vento, look into that, and we'll give you a test the next month.
Dr.
Okay.
Foster, this is Monica Gill from Ogden School District.
Okay.
I actually run our McKinney-Vento program as well, and just want to clarify, families who live together. Oh, sorry, I thought my camera was on. Thought I turned it on. Families who live together don't automatically qualify under McKinney-Vento. It's actually they only qualify if it is a financial hardship for the reason of living together. So if a family chooses to live together because they're planning to save some money and move out on their own, then that would not be considered McKinney-Vento. But if a family, say, gets evicted from their apartment and now has to move in with grandma or a friend, family members, then that would be considered McKinney-Vento.
Okay.
So you definitely have to find out their living situation and be able to have those conversations with those families. So
Okay. Do you have some issues? I guess maybe you do with some of the Indian students that float between mom and dad and grandma and grandpa, and aunts and uncles. Do you?
as far as for like McKinney-Vento,
Yeah.
no, we actually have a liaison who works really closely and specifically with those families to have a conversation and talk about those living situations. So they can be hard conversations, right? Because it's a touchy subject and some people don't want to provide that information, but
Yeah.
that's why it's really important in building those relationships with our families so that they are willing to have those little bit deeper conversations of their living situations and what's going on.
Okay. Okay. Now I'm just beginning to think maybe we could have someone from the state office to talk about that. Maybe. Okay. Hey, thank
Yes,
you, Monica.
Robert Palmer
Yeah.
is actually over that at USBE, so I'm sure he would be happy
Yeah.
to give us a
Well,
quick.
Jeff was there for a while, but I don't
Yeah,
know
he did switch.
how much information Robert has, though.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Maybe we
So
can invite Jeff. He'd
yeah,
be great
yeah,
too.
yeah, he would too. Okay. Just a thought now. Hey, thanks, Monica.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Any other comments,
Dr.
questions?
Foster, you could also invite Connie Crosby. She was our McKinney-Vento specialist for over 20 years, and they
Yeah.
just renamed the road home, our shelter up here, the Connie Crosby Family Resource Center, because of her work with families experiencing homelessness. She would be an invaluable resource.
Okay. I'll we'll I'll call you later, Matthew.
Okay, I probably will take that phone call.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Let's go to the last piece. Well, there's one more piece of information. That's the tribal consultation document. Okay, this is the document that we use um, this is the document that we use for our consultation with the tribe. All the information there is just straightforward. This is the form that we use and submit it to. I get a hard copy of that. The tribe will keep a hard copy of theirs, and the school district will keep a hard copy of theirs. So I think this form really speaks for itself. Go to the next page. Scroll down, yeah. And these are, the ones in the red marking, those are the information that we have within our plan. When we do have our communication and when we converse with our tribes, these are some of the areas that we hit. And the consultation is basically, it's information that we showcase our program. Um, when we showcase our program, in other words, you brag about your program, what you've been doing, and how you're approaching, and some of the information that you provide for your students and your families or your community. And those are in the red markings. That's basically some of the check marks that we go through. Um, let's scroll down a little bit farther down. Now, toward the end, we provide all that information, and now we have to have signatures. We have a tribal representative as well as the LEA who's conducting their showcasing. So this is this is the form that we use, and there's one. Um, let's scroll up to the first page again, Madeline. We see in the middle of the page it says check this box, if you made the efforts of contacting a tribe. Um, I know that there are a few of you that made efforts uh, to contact a tribe and have this consultation with the tribe. And sometimes that the tribe won't respond. Um, and that's the check mark that we put on there. This is a check mark that's used with all the other um, Title VI programs across the nation. Um, so that's put in there for a purpose. But I think we make every effort to have that consultation with the tribe. I know that there was a couple school districts, they had 2 or 3 efforts made at the end of the year. And just before school was out, they had that consultation with the local tribe, their local tribe, and they submitted their application, or they submitted their proof. Um, so I think that this is I think this is uh, an effort that on your part. I commend you for that. But I think again, it's a lot easier if you have this going on early on. You could just start to meet with them early on, and and when you do have that consultation, it's a lot easier, and it's not as difficult. So, but anyway, this is the form that we use. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, now Madeline, there was let's see, let's go back to the first. Let's go back to the agenda. There's 2 more items here I like to go over. Let's just, can you click on number 11? See what that looks like. This is what it looks like. Uh, the uh, the tribal regalia. You have the 2 individuals on the right hand side that sponsored the bill. Um, and both were very, very cognizant of how this bill came to be, and a lot of the information there. And again, this could be given to each senior, maybe at mid-semester. Okay, and so basically that's what it looks like, and you could read through that whole bill if you have not. Okay, let's go to the next number. Let's see, what do you have there? Let's number 12. This is the 506 form that we have, and um, I know that the OIE now is becoming a little bit more uh, modernized in terms of electronic copies. I think the last at the NIEA, that's the direction that they were going. with electronic copies with the 506 forms, as well as putting the 506 forms in an electronic folder. I think they wanted to get away from that paper pencil. So I think they're making an effort toward that. And I just, a couple of weeks ago, I had a call from one of the local Title VI uh, folks, and they asked that question. Um, so my answer was that's probably the best thing you could do for yourself now, is that once you have that on electronic, and making sure that that's safely kept. Because I think that OIE again is they're getting away from that paper pencil. So this is what it looks like. I don't think this has changed in the last 10 years. It's still a form that we all have to fill out. You only fill this out once for the student, and that should take care of that student throughout the whole academic and the rest of their school attendance in your school district. Now, when they do transfer, you have to, there's a plan there. The plan might be that uh, you put the person's name in an active file and communicate to the person in the next school district that you do have this form. So we have this form following that student around wherever they go. Okay. Any questions on this? Okay, let's go to the last there. Yeah, that one there. This is I call this the playbook. This has a lot of information that you could look into. This is the table of contents. Oftentimes that questions are being asked and they fall within this context somewhere. Uh, let's go through some of the, like the Indian Parent Committee, public hearing, meaningful collaboration with the tribes, uh, certification, parent committee approval form. Um, let's go scroll down a little bit more. And this is what you would find. You find the contents on the left-hand side, and the letters in bold are the headings for all of that. And you have just below that, you have some of the writings, and on the right-hand side, you have the pages. And I think that, on your downtime, you probably want to take a look at this and just kind of look through that information and kind of keep it in the back of your mind. Because oftentimes that these questions, they arise from your association with your parents or community. And you say, well, let me look into that, and you can find the answers here. So I think this is for me, this is a good playbook to use as a guide. Okay. Okay. Are there any questions? So now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Clayton's here today. He's going to bring us up to date on the Navajo language and the government class. So is Clayton still on? Clayton.
There you go. Is my mic on?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Title VI coordinators, administrators, teachers, parent, Native American. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, I just want to update you on the Navajo 1. I put on a little shirt that says JOM on it. Reason why is I need to give you a new date. It is said on the flyer that it's Tuesday, September 10th. Well, the National Johnson O'Malley is having a celebration, and they wanted a keynote speaker, and they've asked me to come. And so I thought, okay, I can't be in two places at one time. So I'm going to have the Navajo one start on September 17th, which is a week later. So we have classes every Tuesday. So on the 10th, I'll be at Oklahoma. On the 17th is our first day of Navajo class. I'll look at the registration. If anybody is registered, I will send them a date notification on when we start class for sure. Okay. I'll probably also sent the message a couple of times while I'm en route or something. So what I've decided also is Navajo 1 will be taught about 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesdays, starting on the 17th. It will go all the way till February, the end of February, which is February 25th at 4 p.m. or at the end of that class period, probably 5:30. So that's Navajo 1. Navajo 2, we were going to do back-to-back on that one, meaning Navajo 1 will be taught first and then Navajo 2. So a student could actually take both if they wanted to do that. Navajo 1 is required for the Manuel Ito Scholarship. Navajo 2 is somebody that's going into a university or a college that offers foreign language. It could have, if you had 2 Navajo classes, or you could be counted as a foreign language, and they could waive that college course. And if you went to BYU, I think you could waive at least 8 hours of foreign language because you took, or the student took, Navajo 1 and 2, right? So that's how that works. But if you don't get involved in the foreign language, then you just go back to Navajo 1, and that's all you need for the Manuel Ito scholarships. Okay, once the Navajo 1 is done, Navajo 2 is done, then the first Tuesday in March is when we start the Navajo government's class. Okay, and that flyer's not out yet. Only the flyers for Navajo 1 and 2 is out right now. Once you get the flyer, then I need you to fill out a registration form, meaning that each student needs to fill out a registration form to join the class. And it automatically puts them on a sheet, a Google sheet, and all the questions that I ask on the registration all appears on that one page. So I have a list. So I could actually, if you're let's say Anne-Marie was one that's asking for her school district, I could actually pull who signed up, and then I could send that to her. So she is aware that she has those students in that class, Navajo 1, and if they desire, Navajo 2. All right, I'll go up that far. Anybody have any questions?
Hey, Clayton.
Oh.
I have a student that used to go to our school district. She now moved to California, and she was asking if she could access your class.
Yes, with a little idea of that, I need to talk to that school principal administration. They might have me talk to their school district, but it's really on that counselor's principal relationship. So if they can agree that my teaching that course and giving that grade can be put under a transcript, if they agree on that, I have no problem. Okay, and that the parent agrees to that also. So it can be done. I've done it in New York. I've done it in different places.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Foster, for sharing the details of the Title VI grant and all the information there. I've been involved with the BIE JOM program for many years, and so there is a little bit of, even though the fundings are there, JOM has probably a little bit more funding in Title VI. Um, Someday they need to all get together and say, we want to serve each of them with the same criteria or something. But I know even the parent roles are a little different. That's one of my reasons of going to the national is to talk to the parents also. And then we'll talk about this language programs that we have. One thing that we talk about eligibility, or meaning like getting the CIBs, and those folks get on board for being part of the Title V or Title VI program. The other thought that we've kind of investigated is, what if your child is proficient in 2 languages, really good reading, writing, thinking, speaking in English and in Navajo? What do you do with them? Well, how do you help them? Well, in San Juan School District, we used to take them on a big trip. When they're in high school, we took them to Siberia to meet other Native Americans, meaning not Americans, but indigenous people. And then we took them up to Alaska, even to Canada, what we call a cultural exchange. I know that this program has actually opened the eyes of Native students that are here. And the reason why is because they might know about their local place, town, nation. But if they could connect to another nation somewhere in the world, at the same time travel with all the modern things that it takes to travel, it really opens up their eyes. It's kind of like the STEM program, but 3x. You catch them on fire. They come back thinking differently, and I've seen students say, I'm going to be like. There's a student that came from Whitehorse High School, went over there, and by the time she came back, only a 15-day trip, but she went twice. And by the end of those 2 trips, she made a decision on her own. Today, she's a fluent Russian speaker. How's that possible? 3 languages. So what I'm saying is, let's think about the kids that do make it in 2 languages fluently. What do we do for those kids? That's just a question. Thanks.
Hey, thanks, Clayton. Yeah. If you have information, send it to Madeline or me, and we'll get it out to all the coordinators, Clayton.
Yes.
And the last was the Go Shoot language. Is Stephanie on now? Is she back from her meeting? If not, we'll go to the next 2 people. Okay, I guess she's not on. Penelope from the Urban Indian Center. You have any updates for our group? Or a representative from the Urban Indian Center? Okay, I guess not. What about the Indian Training Center? That's Tashina Williams. No updates. Okay. Well, this concludes our meeting today, people. I'd like to again thank you guys. Hey, first of all, you guys have any questions? You guys do anything special during the summer that you'd like to share? Anybody? Do you guys all have a dull summer? Well, I assume that everybody's doing well. So I thank you guys for uh, for your presence today. I had a very good summer. I went back down to the res a few times. Got refocused. Now I think another academic year would be good for us. And I'm glad that you guys are still in the trenches to help your students. But other than that, thank you for your attendance. And if you guys have no other comments, we'll see you when we see you. And thanks for your attendance again. And our next meeting is September 13th at 9 a.m. Again, it's all going to be virtual. Other than that, hey, thanks, people. Thanks.
Thanks, Dr. Foster.
Thank you, Dr. Foster.
Thanks,